Hello and welcome to Sports Central. My name is Ritesh Patel. LeBron James, Tiger Woods, and Serena Williams, like so many athletes in the world, what do they have in common? Well, we'll show you.
Tonight is Game 6 of the NBA Finals right here on ABC, and something extraordinary seems to be happening. The biggest star in basketball, LeBron James, King James, seems to be choking. Is he blowing his first and best chance for a championship?
Wow. Serena's accusing her of doing this to her before.
The sixth for Lundqvist.
And Tiger on the tee, the hole in the upper back right
Tiger
quadrant.
Woods. Fuck! God damn it.
I don't think he's pleased.
Choking, a common theme in sports today. Athletes are making careless mistakes, missing free throws, overreacting, and striking out in high-pressure situations. Here's the story of a young, promising baseball player that choked in maybe the biggest game of his young career. Game 7 of last year's World Series, Kyle Carlos was up to bat. With bases fully loaded and 2 outs, all he needed was a hit. But unfortunately, the pressure got to him, and he struck out. Here's the story of Kyle Carlos and his unforgettable day.
My body is a cage that keeps me from dancing with the one I love. But my mind holds the key. I'm standing on the stage.
As I was walking towards the plate, all I could see were the cameras, the lights flashing, the fans cheering, and thinking about what I would say to the media and how it felt to be the hero. It was a tied game, bases were loaded, and my time to shine. But for some reason, I was so nervous. I couldn't see the ball right. My arms were shaking, my form was way off, and I wasn't being aggressive at the plate. 9 times out of 10, any ball that crossed the plate I would have crushed. But every pitch I was reluctant to swing. I don't understand what happened to me. It was a full count, and all I needed was a hit or a walk to win the ball game. Thinking to myself, what if I strike out? I'd let the whole city down. I was hoping for a ball because I was too scared to strike out. The ball came straight down the plate, and I just froze.
We had a chance to speak to Carlos's coach, and this is what she had to say.
Kyle is an amazing player and an athlete. It is common for young athletes like him not being able to adjust to the extreme pressures. So we should move forward as a team and support him. I know Kyle is a really strong player, and he will definitely learn from this. And if we were having to, if he were to put in a similar situation like this, he will definitely learn and succeed. If we were having to play this again, we would not want anyone else to play other than him.
To fully understand the psychological reasoning behind choking, we have invited 2 world-renowned sports psychologists via video conferencing.
Choking is the emotional response to the various demands placed on an athlete by their environment. It is very common for elite athletes and more commonly for inexperienced athletes to choke during key plays in any given sport, due to the anxiety they experience leading up to the event. The physiological effects of anxiety include increased heart rate, tense muscles, and increased perspiration. Choking is the emotional response to the various demands placed on an athlete by their environment. It is very common for elite athletes and more commonly for inexperienced athletes to choke during key plays in any given sport, due to the anxiety they experience leading up to the event. The physiological effects of anxiety include increased heart rate, tense muscles, and increased perspiration. Choking can be described as a complete loss of confidence and focus, an increase in anxiety and nervousness, loss of emotional control, and an influx of doubt in their athletic ability. Distracting thoughts can easily overwhelm a young athlete. This can be caused by media coverage, a sudden increase in fame, and increased expectations from coaches, friends, and family. Without the necessary coping mechanisms to overcome these distracting thoughts, an athlete may choke in key performances, leading to overall decrease in confidence and performance. A sports psychologist can help the athlete understand what factors may have contributed to their choking performance. With this help, an athlete can learn to manage their thoughts and emotions, to better their focus and prevent choking in the future. To overcome choking, it is imperative that an athlete does several things in the moments leading up to the key performance. First, stay present. This requires the athlete to think about what he needs to do in the given moment. Thoughts about what just happened or what might happen next need to be cleared from thought. Secondly, the athlete must manage his body's energy and breathing. By slowing down his breathing and reducing muscle tension, the athlete will be able to regain control of the current situation. This will lead to more consistent success. Thirdly, the athlete must flush out any negative thoughts from their mind. Every athlete has negative thoughts, however, it is important not to react to them. Many athletes make the mistake of reacting to their negative thoughts, which lowers their confidence and motivation. Finally, the athlete must refocus with a positive performance cue and execute. Working with the sports psychologist will help an athlete understand why they have choked in the past and how to overcome it in the future.
Thanks, Elise. Now we head over to Stephanie, a world-renowned sports psychologist. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Ritesh. Thanks for having me.
Do you think Kyle became overconfident?
No, I think that's a big misconception in sport. Confidence isn't something that impairs motivation. However, the opposite is true. An athlete needs to believe that he or she has a good shot at overcoming obstacles. I suspect that maybe he's feeling slightly underconfident in the major leagues, having only been drafted last season. My suggestion to Kyle would be to keep in mind his specific abilities and identify some of his weaknesses so that he can work on the aspects of his game that he may think are holding him back.
Do you believe that Kyle became intimidated by the veteran leaders and what people would think of him?
Being a rookie on the team, it may be hard for Kyle not to compare himself to some of the veteran teammates. This behavior could be hurting him. If he's always focusing on the outcome, he risks feeling intense disappointment each time his performance doesn't measure up. I think Kyle would benefit from being more task-oriented and focus on really mastering those skills he already shows some strength in, while fostering an attitude that will help him develop the weaker areas of his game so he can feel more confident during a play.
If anxiety is what caused his disappointing performance, what can Kyle do to turn his game around?
Positive self-talk is a great strategy that I recommend to all of my athletes. This is a tried and true method that reduces stress to a manageable level, maintains motivation, and maintains an athlete's confidence in his or her skills. Self-talk helps an athlete like Kyle reevaluate his thinking. Kyle needs to change the voice inside his head. He needs to replace the negative thoughts that are affecting his performance with positive ones, whether it be a sort of running dialogue to work through problems or a short optimistic statement. The message he needs to keep in mind is that he's prepared in any situation, and he can overcome whatever the game throws his way.
I've heard athletes use a technique called imagery to help their play. Could you please explain this technique?
Imagery is a useful tool before play. It's a strategy that can be used to reduce anxiety, help manage stress, and enhance motivation and concentration. For Kyle, the trick is to avoid thinking about the reward and focus on the aspects of play that are directly in his control. He needs to think of something that directs his attention to the rehearsal of a performance. He needs to think about the pitch, the power of his swing, the satisfying crack of the ball against the bat as he swings a home run. If there is a specific aspect of a great hit that Kyle finds personally meaningful, that's the image he should focus on.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks, Ritesh.
What an inspiring story of Kyle Carlos. Hopefully this year in the playoffs they will do much better and the Blue Jays can actually win the World Series. Thanks for watching Sports Central News. See you next time.